Good evening, I'm Leon Gerari. Welcome to Business PNG, your weekly look at business news and updates. 17 years after the Civil War ended, the Autonomous Region of Bougainville is looking more and more like an investment mecca, with discussions underway of the reopening of the Panguna Mine, the world's largest open-pit copper gold mine back in its glory days. Eager anticipation is building for the growing investment hub that once generated over 40% of the nation's GDP. The Panguna Mine lies waste in a paradise tainted by civil war. Like a scar across a bloody face, it is a constant reminder of the human rights abuses rampant back in the 1980s, when then owned by Rio Tinto under Bougainville Copper Limited. It lingers to this day, but nature has begun to reclaim its rightful place across kilometers of land, dipping its ferns, grass, and lush green trees across rusting equipment, as if she is unaware of the vast machinery of resources that lie beneath, resources that can fuel the economy of the region once again. There are those that are aware, however, of Panguna's worth, and the discussions underway are sparking anticipation in the region and beyond of the reopening of the mine that sparked Bougainville's civil war in the 1980s and 90s.
Because of the timeline imposed on us by the Bougainville Peace Agreement, that a referendum must be held between mid-2015 and mid-2020, we need to reach fiscal self-reliance. And without the mine, it'll be very, very difficult. In fact, it'll be impossible to reach fiscal self-reliance. So it is obvious we need the mine reopening. For a population of 300,000, the Panguna Mine will give us the revenue to build a university, you can seal the roads, you can build good hospitals and so on and so forth, which is not possible and feasible under the current budgetary allocation to Bougainville.
The world's then largest open-pit copper gold mine, which produced copper concentrate containing significant quantities of gold and silver with a processing facility at Panguna on Bougainville, generated over 40% of the nation's GDP and was the revenue source that bankrolled Papua New Guinea's independence from Australia. In the 17 years prior to 1989, contributions to the national government in the form of taxes, duties, and dividends were approximately 17% of internally generated revenue during that time. Since consultations have begun over the potential reopening of Panguna, the question remains, which company will operate the mine? President Momis says landowners from the mine site have consistently indicated they prefer to deal with Bougainville Copper Limited, or BCL, rather than a new potential operator. Mr. Momis has put strict conditions on reopening the mine and says BCL and its 53% shareholder Rio Tinto cannot assume they will be the operator. He says Rio Tinto and Bougainville Copper will only get the support of his government if they provide many economic opportunities for his people and ensures community participation in all decisions. According to Tim Gibson, Chief Executive Officer of New Zealand company Tuya International, which has spent more than 2 years in Bougainville advising on new investment laws, when outsiders think of Bougainville, they think mining and the now defunct giant copper mine. The opportunities in Bougainville may include mining, but Bougainville has lots of natural resources, and this include agriculture, cocoa, copra, virgin coconut oil, as well as land and sea-based resources that don't require extraction from under the ground.
The mine reopening doesn't mean that we are putting all our eggs in one basket. We will also be developing agriculture, fisheries, tourism, and other things.
To demonstrate Bougainville's seriousness about attracting investments, the Autonomous Bougainville Government, or ABG, has established an investment bureau to attract national and international businesses to the province, in which agriculture, tourism, fisheries, and mining will be the key investment focus. The Bougainville Inward Investment Bureau will aim to ensure that any foreign investment is responsible and meets Bougainville's cultural, economic, environmental, and social needs. The BIIB is a joint venture with the Investment Promotion Authority of Papua New Guinea and is very important in ensuring that Bougainville develops a strong economy, with the support of investors who will bring skills as well as investment capital to the region.
Investment Bureau and the Bougainville Investment Law will regulate business activities in Bougainville. One of our policies is that we are discouraging standalone foreign business. So all these foreign businesses, if they want to come, they have to seriously look at partnerships with locals, because with the situation we have, foreign businesses who don't care about locals, they are endangering themselves,
In the 17 years since the end of the Bougainville conflict, the government of Bougainville has been very concerned about how to encourage investment and protect the society and values. Bougainville wants investors to come in with a secure and transparent arrangement around them and to operate and get a return on their investment, but to also contribute to building Bougainville. They want to participate in the development and not just be spectators. This desire was facilitated through the passing of 3 new bills at the Bougainville House of Representatives. One such is the enacting of the Bougainville Public Service Management and Administration Act 2014. Due to this act, the autonomous Bougainville government can independently operate its own public service system, a task that was previously performed by Waigani.
So having our own public service is very important. For the first time, you will have a workforce singularly and accountable to Bougainville political leadership. Before that, we had public servants who were national government public servants who were not accountable to us. Okay, that's only half the job done. Now we have our own public service. But the next big thing, of course, is to develop the capacity of the departments, and change the policies.
After the break, the colors of the Melanesian Arts and Culture Festival. Don't go anywhere. Papua New Guinea is currently playing host to our Melanesian counterparts from around the Pacific with the Melanesian Arts and Culture Festival, as each nation showcases their culture and heritage through displaying and performing cultural and traditional activities. The 5th Melanesian Arts and Culture Festival is not just about this, but also an economic potential for participating provinces of Papua New Guinea and the other Melanesian countries. Fabian Huckelitz interviewed some of these people at the festival village.
Papua New Guinea is the host of the 5th Melanesian Arts and Culture Festival, with the participation of 4 other member countries: Fiji, New Caledonia, Solomon Islands and Vanuatu. This time sees the inclusion of Australia's Torres Strait and West Papua province of Indonesia. The Melanesian Arts and Culture Festival is not just about showcasing and performing cultural and traditional activities, but also an economic potential for participating provinces of Papua New Guinea and other Melanesian countries. It's not only centered in the festival village in Port Moresby, but also outside the capital city, including other satellite venues of Alotau, Kokopo, Mount Hagen and Wewak. We took a tour around the festival village in Port Moresby and talked to some of these participants from Papua New Guinea and other Melanesian countries. The festival has helped to generate income or revenue for individuals and also groups. Different artifacts are sold at the stalls that portray people's identity, origin, province and their country. But the first sign is the flag, either provincial or national. It's an economic potential for many participants in the 5th Melanesian Arts and Culture Festival, selling artifacts to earn income. Thomas Nahone from CY District, Autonomous Region of Bougainville, travelled with the contingent to take part in this big international event. He travelled on his own expenses to be part of the event and sell the artifacts. If you visit the Bougainville stall, you'll see Thomas selling artifacts. In an interview, he said it's an opportunity to sell and market Bougainville's identity and heritage, like bows and arrows, baskets and necklaces.
also Bougainvillean, because me represent him identity, na heritage of Bougainville. Me come long here. Me come one time arts and crafts from Bougainville. You can look him long here now. Me katolo this la handcrafts where online from Bougainville is a walking.
On the meeting stall, we caught up with Verbally Paul, who said the festival is the realization of the economic aspect, which locally made artifacts attract both local and overseas tourists. Featured in the Medang stall were the famous Medang Bilum from Karkar Island and the Bilbil clay pot.
Kalsa Blomipla Island, time Mary Samarit Nupla, and me pesa we kam angamatim long het longen. So Olman Mary, ilukim dis la Mary karem dis la Bilum, emol sawol sem Mary kam longen em Marit Nupla. Sampla walk blo dis la Bilum, time Mary lego Marit lo narapla ha, itla by bila simem, na by nita give him this Bilum one time was in present and that. All countryman Mary by bring this la Mary go long and by Martin this plama. Some time passing money sa come up this la Bilum me place away give him one time pig banana all that something long garden me place bring him one time this la Mary. And I said go give him them some Mary.
We also talked to the Fiji Assistant Delegation Head, Penny Kawilagi. Before talking about the economic side of the festival, he was concerned on the dying culture he defined as a threat in the 21st century. Mr. Kawilagi warned Melanesia might lose its cultural identity in the 21st century because of Western influences and if practices and values aren't preserved and passed on to the next generation. Traditional knowledge, skills and values must be passed on to young people to keep our culture alive. The biggest challenge is when young people show less interest to learn about their origins, most of whom are raised in urban settings. The preservation and promotion of our diversified cultures and core values must then become a priority for parents and communities to ensure it's passed on. The Melanesian Arts and Culture Festival is an event that promotes our culture. Every Melanesian country has been challenged to take a leading role in preserving and promoting this sovereignty as part of our national and regional identity. This is an objective of the Melanesian Spearhead Group that united people together. On the economic side, this is what he had to say.
Well, definitely, yes. This is the challenges that we have is the westernization of our culture and tradition. But I am so thankful to this festival. It's a way of us to preserving our culture and our traditions that are unique to us. Because once we lose this, we lose our identity as well. And the most important thing for us is to transmit it to our younger generations. And this is a way of doing it through the festival. And it's not only that, it's also a way of us realizing the economic aspect, because the people are here to sell the artifacts. So we do preservation at the same time, but we also realize the economic potential that cultural resources have. So this is a very good opportunity for us to do all this. And I'm thankful to the government of Papua New Guinea for allowing us to come and present all this identity and cultural aspects of Fiji.
The festival ends this Friday. When we come back, we discover the latest happenings in the business world. Stay with us. And now we bring you some business news before we wrap things up. The country's only large-scale ethanol producer, Ramu Agri Industries Limited, is in the process of exporting 2 million liters of ethanol. The ethanol will be shipped to South Korea on the vessel Golden Wave, which arrived at the Leh Wharf last Friday. Rail Sales and Marketing Manager Roy Beerwald on Friday said it would take 72 hours and over 100 workers in the loading process. According to Beerwald, the equivalent of 87 ISO tanks, each carrying 23,000 liters of ethanol, will be transported from Ramu and Makam valleys, making about 48 trips to Leh for this shipment. Ethanol is a renewable, domestically produced alcohol fuel made from plant materials such as corn, sugarcane, or grasses. Using ethanol can reduce oil dependence and greenhouse gas emission. The Minister of State Enterprise and Investment, Ben Micah, has challenged state-owned enterprises to think, plan, and operate as businesses. Micah said they had to make profit locally and internationally or lose out to foreign competitive investments. He gave this challenge last Friday in Leh when officiating at the launch of Post Logistics, a subsidiary of Post PNG. Micah warned the management of SOEs, including the board chairman, board of directors, and the chief executive officers, to individually perform their duties to satisfactorily please their paying customers. Micah said 3 billion kina was floating in between the SOEs and called on them to seriously partner each other and the demands of each sector to satisfactorily supply the goods and services which were slowly being taken over by foreign companies competing to make profits. A call was made for Horizon and Talisman operators of the Stanley Gas Condensate in North Fly to give equal business opportunities to resource owners in the province. During the launching of the umbrella company for the Stanley Gas project in Western, Minister for Culture and Tourism, Boka Kondra, said the landowners had learned lessons from other projects due to unfairness. Discussions include a benefit sharing agreement forum held in Kiunga 2 months ago. Mr. Kondra appealed to operators to give resource owners of North Fly equal opportunities to do business, train landowners, and give them confidence to do business, saying equal opportunity is what they want. According to a cocoa market report today, East Sepik accounted for the largest share of cocoa production last year. The province in Momase was the lead producer in the country that accounted for 32.1% of the total cocoa production. Cocoa production for 2013 reached 39,236 tons, which was 183 tons more than the cocoa production in 2012. East Sepik continued to be the lead producer, representing 12,582 tons. They were followed by the Autonomous Region of Bougainville with 12,543 tons, Medang with 5,880 tons, East New Britain with 4,704 tons, and Morobe with 15,068 tons. Cocoa export in 2013 totaled 38,994 tons. And that's the end of our show. For more business news, or if you would simply like to view this episode again, visit MTV online. That's mtv.com.pg/business. Until next week, have a pleasant evening. I'm Lian Jarari, and this is Business PNG.